Hi guys, sorry, that was just my favorite song I was listening to. Like, well, it's not my favorite song, but it's a good song. So, I'm back with another story time, and my story time today is gonna be pretty interesting, actually. It's about the time, okay, I would consider it to be 4, so yeah, pretty much just the 4 times that I have either been stopped by a guy, or touched by a guy, or pretty much, quote, quote, almost been kidnapped. So, the first story is when I was in freshman year of high school. I'm a junior now. So when I was in freshman year of high school, I think it was like, I want to say, it was a little warm, so it had to be like, I don't know, January. It was, oh no, that's not really a little warm. Okay, maybe February. That's when it starts to get a little warm. So it had to be like mid-February. And I'm walking home, and this was the first bus stop I had. So I'm walking home, and I'm minding my own business. And this green car pulls up next. Okay, well, no, let me explain from the beginning. So I'm walking, and I have to pass under this highway. So so if this is the street going towards my house, I'm on the right side. Like, if you're standing in the middle of the street and you're looking straight ahead, I'm on the left side. And if anybody who watches my videos knows where I live, like, you'll know what I'm talking about. That big highway that you have to walk under the underpass. It's where you turn to, like, get on the highway. That's, like, over there. Whatever. So I'm walking under there, and I'm walking down the street, and this green car pulls up next to me. And at first, I didn't know he was stopping for me. I just assumed he was pulling over, like, because something was wrong with his car or something. But no, he rolls down his window, so I just take a glance at him to see what he's doing, and he's looking at me. So then I realize that he's actually talking to me. So I stay where I am, and I bend over so I can, like, kind of hear more, and I can't hear him, so I get a little closer to the car, and then I'm in earshot of what he's saying. So he's like, oh, you know, it's cold out, and you look like you have to walk really far, and do you want to ride home? I don't mind. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I don't live far from here. I walk every day. I'm really okay. I'm warm. I'm okay. I'm fine. Thank you. He's like, are you sure it's really not a bother? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I like walking. It's okay. He's like, okay. I'm sorry to bother you. I just, you know, it's cold. I figured maybe you'd want to ride home. Just shut up. Just go away. Just shut up. So he drives away, and I glanced at his license plate, but I didn't bother to remember it. I was like, oh, he's probably just being nice, whatever. So I go home, and I tell my sister, and she's not happy. Like, not happy with she's not happy. Well, how do I explain this? It's not that she's not happy with me. She's not happy with the fact that he stopped me. So, I mean, she was fine with me. Like, she didn't care, whatever. So, she told me to call my mom and tell her, so I did, and whatever. So, not 2 months later, this guy stops me again when I'm walking on the same side of the street. He stops me again, rolls down his window. Or no, I'm sorry. This time I was on the left side of the street, and I'm walking. And he stops again, and he rolls down his window, and I get a little closer to the car. I'm like, whatever, okay. This guy again. 2 months later, like, you know, something's not right. So, I'm listening to what he's saying, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, do you want to ride home? It's cold. See, it was a little warmer, so he couldn't use the excuse it was cold, because it was not cold. So he's like, oh, blah, 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 it's cold, whatever. I'm not trying to be creepy or anything. I just want to know if you want to ride home. It's cold, and you look like you've been walking for a while, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm really okay. I like walking. It's fine. I'm not cold. It's alright, I promise. Like, are you sure? I'm not trying to be creepy or nothing. I just want to help you. no, I'm sure. I'm okay. I'm fine. So this time, he drives away, and I look at his license plate, and I take down the license plate and the notes in my phone, and I have a really good description of what he looks like, because I was looking straight at him through his car. He was looking, like, straight at me. He wasn't looking like, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, he was looking straight at me, so I got a good look at really what he looked like. So I go home, and I tell my sister, and she's not happy. She's like, this happened again. You know what? Okay, calm on. Calm on. Wait, first, did you get the license plate and the description of what he looked like? Yes, I did. Okay, I got it. So she tells me to call my mom, so I do. And I tell her, she's like, okay, well, you need to call the cops. So, I mean, you know, it wasn't a dire emergency. So we called the non-emergency police, and my sister was talking to them, and they asked to talk to me, and, like, they asked what the license plate was. And they asked for, like, a description of him. So I gave it to him, and, like, half hour to an hour or 2 hours later, a cop shows up at the door. Let me tell you, this cop was amazing, because not only was he good looking, but this man, let me tell you, he was good looking. So he came in the house, he took the story down, blah, blah, blah. So he went out to the car, and first off, he was like, okay, I'll run the plate, I'll find out where this guy lives, I'll go talk to him. And then he gave us a case number in case we wanted to go to the police station and, like, check it out and whatever. And then he left. Not a half hour later, he comes back, and he knocks, like, now he didn't have to do this. He was being really nice. He didn't have to do this. So he comes out, back out to the house, and he knocks on the door. And we didn't answer for a minute, because it took us a few minutes to get downstairs, because we were, like, fully dressed. We got back into our pajamas, whatever. So he started walking back to the car. So when we opened the door, we caught him at the car. So when we walked to the police cruiser, oh my god, this cop is the shit. Now, this guy is amazing. So I look in his passenger, and he's got his case files sitting in, like, you know those boxes where, like, if you work in an office and you got fired, they give you that box to, like, put all your stuff in it. Like, it looked like that box, but it had a bunch of case files in it and stuff. He had his computer open, he had it on, and he had a bag of red nacho cheese Doritos just sitting on top of the case files. I was like, oh my god, I love this cop. This cop is amazing. That would be me when I'm a cop. For anybody that doesn't know, I want to be a cop when I'm older. That is going to be me. Except not the case files, so I probably won't have all those, but the Doritos, I'll have my Doritos, and I'll have my Starbucks coffee, and I'll be all good. Like, the cop was amazing. So, put that past. So he's telling us he runs the plate, and he finds out this guy lives, like, legit, like, 3 minutes from my house, which is really weird to begin with, whatever. So he said that he ran the plate, and he found out where this guy lives, and he goes to talk to him. So he said that when he knocked on the door and the guy came to the door, he scared the living shit out of the guy. Like, he looked like he was about to piss himself. And he started, like, flipping out. So he was telling him about what happened, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, this girl is only, like, 13. And he said that he was telling him that I was only like 13, 14, and the guy was saying, oh no, I thought she was like 18, 19. Bitch, please. Right now, I'm 17. Right now, I have gotten the fact that I look 18, 19 now, but that's because I'm almost 18. I will be 18 in 6 months, so that I can get away with 18. 19, maybe not. I can get away with 18. There is no way that I looked 18 and 19 when I was 14 years old. Not only that, I was carrying a book bag. If I was 18 and 19, I would have been graduated already. I would not be walking around with a book bag. So when he came back, he was telling us, oh, he told us what happened, scared the shit out of him, whatever. He was saying, oh, like, he didn't know that I was that young, and the cop even said, like, he said that he didn't know that I was 13, 14, but there was definitely something shady about him. Like, something wasn't right with him. Like, he knew that I was under the age of 16. He knew, but he didn't care. Like, so, I don't know what he did with, like, whatever, but he didn't have to come back and tell us. He was going to be nice. He even told us, he's like, I didn't have to come back, but I was going to be nice and come back and tell you anyway. So after he left, I don't know what he did with the information. I don't know if he told, like, the Bridgeport police to, like, keep an eye on him, but he told us that if we ever saw him pass by again, he told him that he could never take that way home again. He had to find another way home, like a direction to go. So he said that if we ever saw him going down that way again, we were to call the cops immediately because something was not right with him. Like, maybe he's done this before. So that's whatever. So he left. Okay. So then the 2 other altercations were this year. In my junior year. And the first time, I don't remember when that was, to be honest. I think it was like, when was this? This was the same week that I was just switching classes. So this was in January. I switched classes around January 24th. I think that's the day that I switched classes. So, you know what? I don't know when January 24th is, so let me go look. I believe January 24th. January 24th was a Sunday, which means that following Monday we would have switched classes. So this happened on the 25th. I'm walking home. So at this point, I didn't have that bus stop anymore because we had one bus stop like here. Like, just say this is like, okay, whatever. We had 4 bus stops. We had one in Fairfield, and then we had two stops within like a minute of each other. So they decided to combine the 2. So now we only have 3, and then we had one like closer to the school, kind of, or like it was like 10 minutes away, but whatever. So, my bus stop got changed to the 3rd bus stop. So, I was walking home from there, and I had to walk by this really, like, bad area that I live across from. So, I was walking home, and I was minding my own business. And I was walking with my head down because the place I was walking by, it smelled so bad of, like, weed that it was giving me, like, a big headache. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to walk with my head down. Hopefully it won't bother me, whatever. Okay, so that was working. So I was walking with my head down, and I could see from, like, the top vision here, like, if I'm looking down, if I looked up, I could see in front of me perfectly. And this guy was looking down at his clipboard. So I could see him, so I moved to the side so I would walk next to him so I didn't, like, walk right into him. And he stops me, and he's like, oh, blah, 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 you're really beautiful, you really look nice, blah, 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 blah. Can I get your number? So I lied and said I didn't have a phone, which I did. I had it in my pocket, and it was not on silent, so I was, like, praying to Jesus that the phone did not go off. Thank God it didn't. But that wasn't the point. He asked me for my number, and I told him I didn't have a phone. So I was praying the phone didn't go off, and it didn't. So he asked me if I had an email, and I told him I did. So he asked me to write it down. Now, like, I have, like, 5 different emails. I have, like, one for pictures, one that my school assigned to me that I never, ever use, one that I use for school, one for, like, jobs and stuff, and then I have another one for if I have, like, forget a password on some site that I was on, I can send emails to that to, like, reset the password so it doesn't go to my main email. So, I'm sorry. So knowing that I didn't use the email that the school provided me, I gave him that one because I knew that I would never ever use that. I mean, like, when he said he would email me as soon as he got home, and I was like, okay, that's nice, blah, 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 whatever, and then I left. But, like, he was nice. Like, he wasn't one of the creepy ones. He was, like, really nice and being friendly and, like, giving me compliments, but, to me, it was still kind of, like, sketchy and a little weird. So I was going to go home, and I was going to check the email. I mean, I wasn't going to answer it, because it doesn't tell you if you opened it or not, but I was going to go home, check the email, read it, whatever, but I forgot the password to that, so I was like, whatever, I forgot about that. And then, this was December? Wait. When did I get stopped? I got stopped by the guy that tried to touch me. That was the last time. That was when it was still cold and snowing out. No, I don't believe it was snowing. I think it was just really cold. Yeah, it was just really cold. So I think I switched that. This was at the beginning of the year that the guy that asked me for my number and my email, that was at the beginning of that year. The English would be nice. Okay, so the last guy that stopped me, that was when classes were just switching. Oh no, you know what? I keep getting it mixed up. In the beginning of the year, I met this other guy stop me when I was standing at the bus stop waiting to, like, go to the mall. But that guy was, like, so nice. Like, he was unbelievable. Like, whatever. He was, like, the nicest guy ever. So I won't really count him. That was that time. So I just switched classes. And then that guy stopped me and asked me for my number, my email. Then, in the same week, so that first case happened, or the second case happened the 25th. That Friday, which would have been the 29th, it's like bitter cold outside. It's freezing. So I'm like bundled up in a jacket, and I have a scarf on, and I have this mask on that goes around my whole head, but it's like this. It pretty much covers like this. So you can only see my eyes. And then I had a hat on. So the only thing on my whole body, skin-wise, that he could see was like this. So he could pretty much only see, like, the bridge of my nose and my eyes and under my eyes and, like, my eyebrows and stuff, but whatever. So, with that, I was pretty much conflicted in what I was going to do. I was screwed either way because I was wearing heels, which actually I have them right here. I was wearing these, and these aren't that thick, but if you're trying to, like, walk fast, they're hard to walk in. Like, they're not hard to walk in general, but they're hard to walk in if you're trying to walk fast. So, I'm in the middle of my friend's street and my street. I just touched the corner of my friend's street, and I can see this guy sitting across the street, across from that bad place that I live across from, and he's sitting on this guy's porch that he knows, and he's sitting with his friend, and I think his friend put him up to going over and, like, stopping me and stuff, but whatever, that's not the point. So, he gets up, and he starts walking across the street, and in my head, I'm thinking, please don't stop me. Please don't stop me. Please don't stop me. And then I get past this, I just get to the edge of this white van that's always parked there outside, whatever, and he walks in front of the van. I'm like, shit, he's gonna stop me. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna get stopped again. So in that exact second, my mind just stopped blank. My only two options were to A, turn around and go up my friend's street and risk him following me and grabbing me from behind and probably kidnapping me or killing me or something, or B, I can just keep walking and let him stop me and can just play it out and see how the conversation goes. I picked the safest bet and picked option B and just kept walking and waited until he stopped me. Well, let's just say that I would have been screwed either way. because he probably still would have stopped me if I turned around and kept walking in my friend's house direction. But option B was not the best either, because he practically jumped in front of me to the point when I kept walking. If I kept walking, I would have smacked right into him and probably fell on my ass. But instead, being I instantly chose option B, I stopped right as he walked in front of me so I wouldn't slam into him. And he's like, "Hi, how are you, blah, blah, blah," and he's like, "Oh, you're beautiful, you're sexy, blah, blah, blah," and I'm thinking, yo, dude, you can only see my eyes. He's like, "Oh, why don't you take off that mask?" I was like, "Yeah, no, it's cold, I'm good." He's like, "Oh, well, I'm just trying to be friendly, like, want to be friends." Like, no, I have enough friends, I'm okay. He's like, "Well, how do you expect to make more friends?" I was like, "Well, I was taught not to talk to strangers." And he just, like, laughs at me. Like, he just looks at me straight in the face and just laughs at me. So at this point, I'm angry that he's laughing at me. Because, like, no joke, this guy had to have been in his early 40s. Talking to a 17-year-old girl. So, when he's done laughing at me, he's like, "Come on, just take that mask off, I want to see you." And I'm just about to open my mouth to say no, and he sticks his hand out and tries to grab the mask off of my face, and boom, my instincts just reacted like that. So I backed up, like, I kept my left foot still, but I took my right foot and I, like, backed up like that, and I, like, leaned back a little bit, and he starts laughing at me again. At this point, I wanted to just punch him in his goddamn face. I just wanted to punch him. It was making me so angry that he was laughing at me. So, I was, like, bipolar in this moment. I was viciously angry. I just wanted to punch him in his face. And then he walks away. And then, start walking home. And the anger goes away. And a wave of, I wouldn't call it sorrow, but a mix of fear and sadness just was like a smack in the face like a brick. I kept my shit together until I walked in the door, and I got on the back porch as I was letting the dogs out, and I sat on the porch and I called my mom in tears. I call her in tears. So she's asking me what happened, and I'm telling her, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know what to do. I got stopped by this guy again. This is the second time in the same week that I got stopped by a guy. This time he tried to touch me and take my mask off, and I just backed up, and I didn't know what to do, blah, blah, blah." This is the time that she should have told me to call the cops, but I was kind of conflicted because I was like, well, shit, if I call the cops, like, what the fuck if the cop comes here and, like, then he leaves, and, like, then the guy comes back and, like, comes in the house and kills us all. So to, like, make myself feel better when I'm on the phone, I'm like, well, I guess I'm safer in the backyard because the only way in the house is the front door or the back door, and I'm sitting at the back door, and I have the dogs out here, and if you know my dog, she's vicious. She will eat you if she doesn't know you. If she thinks you're gonna hurt me, or my mom, or my sister, or my dad, or whatever, she will eat you. She will not hesitate to attack you thinking you're gonna hurt us. So I made a funny joke. I was like, okay, I guess I'm safe in the backyard because I have Sandy out here to protect me and maul whoever comes back here. So my mom laughs or whatever, and then she tells me to call the cops. So she's like, "Did you tell Tammy?" And I was like, "I don't even know if she's home," but I'm still bawling. I'm, like, in tears. So she's like, "Okay, go upstairs and see if Tammy's home, and if Tammy's home, text me and let me know and tell her what happened." And if she's home, call the cops. So we did. And he came out. We thought he wasn't even gonna come. Because once again, we called the non-emergency police, so I guess they were kind of busy. He came like 3 hours later. Like, at least the other cop that happened with the accident that happened the first time, at least he came like a half hour to an hour later. This guy came 3 hours later. Because we were sitting downstairs in the living room waiting for him to show up. We were like, okay, we're gonna give this guy 5 more minutes, and then we're going upstairs. We start walking up the stairs. After 5 minutes is over, this motherfucker comes up to the door and knocks on the door. Okay, so we were like perfect timing, whatever. Okay, so he comes in the house. This guy's good looking too, so that's okay too. And I'm like, of course, being I want to be a cop, this guy's like got the whole shebang. He's got like the bulletproof vest. He's got the jacket, the gun, handcuffs, the badge, the taser, everything. He trying to ask me questions, and I can't do jack shit but just stand there and stare at him. And I wasn't staring at him because he was good looking. I was just staring at that beautiful ass uniform he had on. Like, I like a guy in uniform, but like that uniform, like, is amazing. And I'm not, people think I'm emo because I wear a lot of black, but I'm really not. I just like the color of black clothes. Because I look good in black clothes. And they wear black. Like, lots of black. Like, everything's black. So, I'm just, like, mesmerized. Because this guy, like, really respects the uniform. He's got it all, like, tucked in. He's got the belt. He's really, like, he's, like, clean. That uniform was sexy as hell. So he's just trying to ask me questions, and I'm like, sorry, I'm kind of like still upset, and my head's not in the right place. And he's like, oh, it's okay, whatever, understandable. So I finally like answer all his questions, and he gives us the case report. And well, with this situation, we were telling him we were gonna see if we could get my bus stop changed, and he's like, oh yeah, definitely, that's definitely a good idea. So we were telling him about all the other times that I got stopped, and he said from now on, in this neighborhood, if I'm gonna go anywhere, if at all possible, if I can help it, in this neighborhood, I should not be going anywhere alone, by myself. I have to have somebody with me in case I get stopped again. So, he told me he was gonna talk to, like, the district of Bridgeport, or wherever he said he was gonna talk to and about this, and, like, see if something could be done. So, finally, my bus stop gets changed to, like, because my last bus stop, I was walking, like, a mile home. Now, it's, like, and it would take me, like, 20 minutes. So now it takes me, like, 5 minutes to walk home because I'm, like, really close. So that happened, but, like, I can't take this anymore. I can't keep getting stopped by all these guys I don't know. That's just, it's too much for me. And yeah, I understand I may be, like, overreacting a little bit, but that scared the living shit out of me. I thought I was gonna die. He went and tried to grab me. Like, I was terrified. So I was telling my friend David about this, and he's, like, getting pissed at me, because he's like, oh, how come you didn't come and get me? I would have, like, kicked his ass or something. Yes, David. You're gonna kick a guy's ass that's, like, way taller than you, way older than you, and way muscular than you. For me. Right. We'll see how that goes. So I'm telling him, and he's like, well, you should have come and, like, walked in my yard and stood there and, like, texted me. Yes, I'm gonna have some strange guy come into your yard and put your family in danger. I don't think so. So, yeah, that's my story time video. I guess I'll see you in the next video that I do. So, yeah. Bye. Bye, guys.